For you at 2 o'clock today. Now, in the 90s, there was this little TV series called The X-Files. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I loved it.
Great show.
Loved it.
The show brought paranormal investigation to the mainstream, stories of alien encounters and interactions with spirits, and even those fabulous government cover-ups.
Yeah, now the show inspired a young Ben Hansen to keep an open mind and pursue the truth, and leading him on a path to become a real-life Fox Mulder.
He's the former FBI agent who now spends his time investigating the unexplained.
I think the main point from here on out is hang tight, try to keep quiet, and see what happens.
Ben Hansen is the host and lead investigator on Fact or Faked Paranormal Files.
Okay, Florida Theater Ghost, fact or faked?
The show follows a team of experts as they seek the truth behind reported paranormal encounters.
What is that?
From Area 51 to ghostly apparitions and everything in between. Ben Hansen has seen it all.
All of a sudden, the runway lights, everything lit up.
Now he's in Australia to headline Paracon, where he will share stories of his own close encounters.
I have what appears to be an SUV approaching. Did you see that in the sky just now?
What was that?
Paranormal investigator Ben Hansen is here live in this show. G'day, Ben.
How's it going?
Great. How did you go from being with the FBI to now, I want to say chasing aliens? I'm sure that's a...
Not very scientific, Carl.
Simplification, but...
The X-Files unit called me up and said, you know, we'd like you to go out and participate in this TV show. Just kidding. No, it was an interesting transition, but I left the door open to go back because I really liked doing the law enforcement stuff. But a show was coming together and they needed a concept. I had kind of an informal group and I was a real geek. I mean, I was into this stuff for a long time.
Okay. Well, what's the most convincing thing, the most mind-boggling bit of evidence that you've ever seen where you're just convinced beyond all reasonable doubt that something's going on?
I have seen a lot. With ghost hunting, for example, I was in a cemetery in Indiana and I witnessed in front of me a pile of leaves. There's no wind whatsoever. I was hearing footsteps. And every step I would take, I'd hear leaves crunch. And I was like, there's got to be something going on here. So I took my flashlight, got on the ground, and I watched a pile of leaves depress in the shape of a footprint, completely right in front of my face. I've heard audible voices. I feel like, you know, when you fill out those pre-employment things now about your mental health state, do you ever hear voices? I have to do that. I heard a full sentence spoken into my ear.
Right. Do you drink?
I don't actually.
I had to ask. Let's go onto the internet, because does that help or hinder your cause and trying to get to the bottom of things? Because so many things can be faked, and I'm a bit of a skeptic, I've got to say.
A bit?
Well, maybe
You're
a lot.
Like the president of the
Skeptic Society.
Yeah.
Well, you know, our show Fact or Fake, we wouldn't have it if we didn't have these viral videos. And the unfortunate thing is that it's so easy now to use CGI and manipulate videos. So what we do is we break them down and interview the witnesses, and we try and replicate experiments to see if there's any way it could be done. So it has made it a little more difficult.
Okay. A few weeks ago, Bill Clinton spoke about aliens on Jimmy Kimmel's show. Let's have a look at what Bill had to say.
If you saw that there were aliens there, would you tell us?
Yeah.
You would? Oh, you're trying to give me a hint that there are aliens.
No, I'm trying to tell you I don't know. Oh. But if we were visited someday, I wouldn't be surprised. I just hope...
Yeah, so clearly that's a serious forum and a serious interview. But it's rare to hear the US president talking on the subject, right? So what was your take on this? You
know, this story was very, very interesting because a lot of presidents have asked into the topic and have looked into it, but I did a 36-minute analysis of his body language. So if you break it apart, you'll see parts where he asks him in that one section, he says, would you tell us if there were aliens? And he shakes his head, yes. And then he says something about, you know, well, there's different worlds and all this. There's a high probability. He says, oh, so you're telling me there's a good chance there are aliens? And he says, you said there are aliens. He says, no. But he shakes his head, yes.
So what you're saying is Jimmy Kimmel's an alien? Is that what you're saying?
He was very stressed. Clinton was very stressed during the whole interview. We don't know why exactly.
Okay, you've investigated so many different paranormal events. A quick line on what you believe in relation to the following claims, if we may. UFOs, do they exist?
Definitely. The phenomenon is real. I've seen at least 3 unexplained craft doing just extremely advanced things. I don't know who's flying them. I could say that much.
Okay. Number 2, aliens have already visited Earth in the shape of Monica Lewinsky. No, I take that back. Aliens have already... are there aliens here?
You know, I would have to give it a probability of, let's say, 95%.
Whoa!
Yeah, the people that I have talked to, my own experience of seeing things, it would be hard to dismiss it all as military.
Okay, what about ghosts? Real or imagined?
You know, as a kid, I did not believe in ghosts. I was told they don't exist. And now, as an adult, I've seen so many things, I believe in it more so than I did as a kid, ironically.
See, once we hear that aliens are here and that ghosts exist, then the whole Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti thing is like, whatever. There's nothing to it. Is that real?
Well, Yowie, Bunyip, and all
nothing,
the guys.
Right? Nothing compared to ghosts.
You know, I've never had that experience myself, so I'm kind of out there with that. But I've had many credible people tell me very, very compelling stories, and I have to say there's probably something to it. I just don't know what it is.
Are aliens showing a geographic preference?
For good location,
location. If you're coming from, if you're travelling a long way, where are you wanting to settle down? The States, Australia, Europe's nice this time of year. Is there a place where there is more paranormal, I'm being serious now, more paranormal activity than other places?
It's worldwide, of course. We do have hot spots. Certain places you can go and do what we call sky watches. I sell night vision. You know, a lot of people go out there and try to film this stuff.
That's kind of desert type places, or is that just in the movies? I'm making
yeah,
it up,
deserts are great. We have a lot around Nevada. Arizona is a big hot spot. Here you guys have, you know, Pine Gap. You know, the secret bases and stuff like that.
Have you ever met anyone who's been probed by an alien?
I've met people who say they have been.
They come and suck you off the desert, and then they... Isn't that what happens?
I've met people who say they have mothered 12 hybrid alien children.
See, that's what I meant.
Yes.
It wasn't such a good... It was a good question. There's a woman who's mothered 12 hybrid alien children who's currently hosting a morning show in America.
Sorry, next question. Did you believe her?
You know, I will read people's books. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but from the outside of it, you got to have some proof of that. I want to see one of the kids brought in. I want to, you know.
That's what we want, proof. So no one has any actual, where's the proof?
Oh, there's a lot. There really is. I mean, if someone gets into this, there's trace evidence of over 3,000 different landing cases, 100 million different witnesses, you know, so there's a lot of evidence.
Okay.
You want to see the bodies, is what you're asking.
Kylie's very much a touchy-feely alien.
But when you say
girl.
physical evidence, what exactly do you mean? Like high levels of a certain element on the ground after a landing? Or
exactly.
Right.
Trace elements of things that shouldn't be here.
But that can be scattered by someone, surely. That can be put on the ground.
Well, it's like the crop circles.
Yes.
You know, like I don't think all of those could be easily explained because of the amount of time that these people have to make these and then scatter that debris to make it look legitimate.
Do aliens look like they do in the movies, or are they more like sort of Mork from Ork sort of concept? Do they look like, you know?
Well, I've never seen one that I know of, but
you've spoken to people. There've been 100 million. So, like, has anyone drawn a picture?
Do you guys remember the movie Fire in the Sky? You watched that? Some loggers were in Arizona, and the guy gets taken for 5 days. True story.
Probed. I told you.
Right. Well, he doesn't claim to be probed, but what you don't learn in the movie is that he had interactions with blonde-haired, blue-eyed humans as well. So people do talk about both.
So aliens are human after all.
You wouldn't know. Basically, if they were here, you wouldn't know, you know, if they're sitting next to you, to some accounts.
That's a worry.
The longer I'm talking to Ben, I would not be surprised if he's ripped his head off right now.
I've been accused. I've been accused of that.
No, I'm like looking at you thinking there's something...
If you go on YouTube and you'll see people will put on videos of my eyes changing and like reptilian. He's a lizard.
I'm serious.
Well, I've been working with you for 7 years and I've been waiting for you to do exactly the same. So it's weird. Like, I believe they're here. Ben, good to chat to you, mate. That's really interesting stuff.
Just take a good look.
No, I can't look at him now.
My eyes changing.
I can't look at him now.
I'm telling you, there's something there.
Ben the Prober Hansen is one of the headline speakers at this weekend's Paracon Paranormal Conference at the very spooky Old Maitland Jail, which is where Mitchell Coombs took some morning show viewers last week, and everyone totally freaked out.
True.
all the details on our website. It's going to be a really interesting conference, and thanks for taking the time to join us today.
You're welcome. There's still tickets available, and come check it out.
Mate, we're nearly done. This is the last chance to rip your head off. Really,
just unzip my skin and reveal right here who I really am.
No, that's a shame. Thank you, Ben.
I cannot believe we gave you a drum roll then to rip it.
Ben, if something happens up there at Maitland, give us a call. Let us know.
Oh, for sure. You guys are welcome to come. I mean, I always have stuff at these public events.
Yes.
Always something going on.
There's some probing going on. I cannot believe that we invited an international guest to rip his head off and then gave him a drum roll in the lead up to him potentially ripping his head off.
That's how you say hi in Australia.
Yeah, g'day, mate. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Have a good conference. It's going to be fabulous.
Thank you.
Just ahead.